Hello, Facebook ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello, Facebook ads people. Another podcast. Another week that we are alive. Actually, the previous week was very good. I'm having very good results across accounts. I'm doing very good videos. I believe the content right now on the YouTube channel is very good with live ad accounts, case studies, everything. Everything is doing very well. I'm scaling. I'm having accounts that I'm scaling 100% or more. So, all good. A lot of you are sending messages. I'm answering. And I'm also trying to put most of the questions that I think that are suitable here on the podcast. And a lot of you are sending me messages to work together. Obviously, guys, I have to be a little bit selective with the projects that I can work with because I'm not an agency. So I'm working a little bit with bigger accounts, but also with some small projects that I believe that they're going to do well. So if you have anything, don't hesitate, send me, and maybe we can work it out if it makes sense for both of us. Now, today's topic is all about Facebook and how it shares the Facebook advertisement pie. A lot of times we tend to think that we influence the whole game of what kind of results we're going to get and everything from Facebook. This is not the truth. My belief and what I believe is that with Facebook, you are actually controlling 10% of the outcome, and everything else is, the strategies that you're going to use and everything, you control 10% of the outcome. Everything else is just a rigged game. And let me explain to you what I mean. So apart from the ads and what you're doing, strategies and stuff, and in other words, I'm trying to say that Konstantinos can help you with his videos for the 10%. The 90% is being influenced by other things. And I'm not going to just say different percentages of what I think because it's just going to look stupid. But I think that another big percentage is how Facebook actually consider you as an advertiser and how much money they're willing to give you based on the threshold that they have for each account, which we'll explain a little bit. Your product, your funnel, if you're a monopoly or if there are several people that they're competing with you in the same niche, and so on and so on. So strategies and everything, a lot of times people think that, okay, with a good strategy or with this magic trick blueprint, I'm going to rule the Facebook. And the sad truth is that it's just 10% that we can influence and make it better and better and scale. But without proof of concept, without having something that's working, without a site, without a proper product, and without, of course, training Facebook, understanding that we are serious and that we want to spend more and more, we cannot have anything. Now, the thing that I want to focus today is how Facebook consider advertisers as different tiers. First of all, how do we know that? We know that Facebook is doing that because you have different Facebook representatives if you're spending X amount of money or 1 million. Secondly, we know that when we have declined payments, we see for 1 month or 2 months that Facebook is considering you as a threat for the community or a bad advertiser, and they're giving you less quality traffic. We know that Facebook categorizes the traffic and knows exactly who are better to convert or not based on the fact that we have the page score. And when you're below a page score, it says that you're under penalty and they're going to give you less quality traffic. So Facebook is also categorizing the quality of the traffic, and they send the good quality to the people that they want to convert or not. And don't take it from the point of a conspiracy theory. They just want to see consistency. So if you have another account which is here for 10 years and every year you're spending more, this is how they increase the threshold that you're spending, and they're going to give you more space, more space, more space. How do we know that? We know it also from the attack periods that I have mentioned in this channel several times. There are periods that the demand is higher from the supply, like the COVID period, for example, or like the period that we had with Black Friday, of course, or the Christmas period, which in this period you are seeing that you are having, you are able to spend more while you're maintaining ROAS. And after that point, Facebook is also letting you to spend more in the next months, not just in the month of the Black Friday. So there are several cases that I have other accounts that they spend 50K. On Black Friday, I spend 130K. And then I'm maintaining a 100K spend across the other period of the year. And then I'll go to the next Black Friday, I spend 250K, and I maintain a 200K across the year and so on. And this is how you scale businesses, but it's taking time like this, okay? So a lot of times we have different strategies that we try to do it, and we always try to spend a little bit more. Facebook is giving us less ROAS, boom, we slow the spend, we are on the ROAS that we have to be. And the more you try to spend, the more Facebook is stopping you. Sometimes it's going to let you for a period, then you go down. But the whole thing is a battle of us taking a bigger slice of the pie, basically. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to say to Facebook, hey, we are a legitimate business, we are good advertisers, the people like our product because we have a good rating and everything, we have good creatives, we put good content to the platform and everything, and we want you algorithm to give us a better slice, because Facebook knows exactly who is going to buy, when they're going to buy. How do we know that? From the statistical modeling. They have a statistical modeling which is not accurate 100%, but they say that they can calculate. And by the way, guys, after the ChatGPT that came out, you do realize that these are things that the machines can do. Basically, all of us, by giving our information, we're giving information to Facebook about when we're spending money, for example. There's going to be one behavior that this guy, Konstantinos, for example, spends his money from 1 to 15. He rarely buys stuff on internet from 15 to 30. So when am I going to target him if I want to convert him from 1 to 15? And I'm going to target him as less quality traffic from 15 to 30. So it's all about the behavior that we have, what kind of things we buy and stuff. So Facebook takes all this data, which I believe that some people say that the most important thing later is going to be the water. Yes, but another important thing right now, which costs a lot of money, is the data of the people, their footprint, and their digital footprint, and what they're doing inside the internet, because all of this data can be used in order to form ideal avatars for companies in order to target these people and try to convert them. So the whole idea is that the game is rigged. And what we're trying to do is we try to increase always the slice that Facebook is going to give us from this pie in specific audiences and specific niches. And if you start thinking of it like this, then all the stupid theory goes away, the saturation goes away, everything goes away, and all of these excuses go away. And then you start realizing that I'm going to try, fail. At some point, I'm going to increase it, try, fail. I'm going to try also go to other platforms. I'm going to try to have omnipresent. I'm going to try to do other things from brand ambassador programs to affiliation, whatever, in order to increase my threshold anyway. And then Facebook is going to give me also a bigger slice of the pie. Now, that being said, this is a concept that most people don't want to admit, because they just want to believe that there's a magical blueprint that if they spend 50K, they will spend magically 200K with the same ROAS just by following that. No, it's going to take you time. I have done it, okay? It can be done in several cases, but it's difficult. Maybe it needs experience. Maybe it was the right timing that I went to the ad account and it worked. But there are also other times that I haven't done it and Facebook was stopping me when I was trying to scale. Why is Facebook stopping you? Because there are other people that they need to also convert to other businesses so that they can keep spending. It's simple as that. It's trying to keep a balance so that everybody can be happy. This is why I'm talking about behaviors in ad accounts and the way that you need to go there and be very strict, because if you go and you have 1.2 ROAS, then Facebook thinks that he is happy with 1.2 ROAS. I'm going to give him 1.2 ROAS. You have to be strict. And I go to other accounts that they have 1.3, 1.4, increasing to 2, but after a period of time of me cutting ads, doing campaigns, all over again and again, trying to fix an account that has a bad behavior, because the other accounts also have bad behaviors. So it's a threshold that you have, it's the ad account which is trained. How do we know about the other accounts that are getting trained? Because when I had spending limits in some other accounts of 20, 30, 40K, I wanted to spend more per day. And then I was doing other ad accounts and the same ads, the same targeting, everything, it was having much lower results from what they were having on the main account. So also by how much an account is spending, it has better health, it has better quality. If you don't have rejected ads also there, if it's not new. So we know all of that. We know about the categorization. So don't fall under the trap of believing that this is not rigged. and just try to play by the rules. And the rules are that we have to be as creative as we can, understand the algorithm in a very deep level knowledge, do a lot of campaigns, be very strict with return on ad spend. This is why I don't care about CPM so much, or about click-through rates, or about clicks. I care about ROAS, because this is what we need at the end of the day. This is how we train our ad accounts. Now that I told you all of that, and you can start thinking of it and start understanding it more, I would like to go. I recently received a PDF. So it's a company that it's operating in the United States and United Kingdom. I scaled the ad account from 7K to 200K. I took it on October. I scaled it from October to now. The previous month I did 165, and most probably the next month, which is March, I'm going to do 200K. I know it already because I know that I have reached the amount of money that I need to spend in that level, which is 6K, with the ROAS that I want, and even higher. So I know that I can maintain it for the whole month. Now, the situation is this. In this specific account, we got a message from Facebook reps that they want to talk to us and everything, to say all of their bullshit about traffic campaigns, and then to retarget, to say other bullshit about running in stream ads, all the stupid, crazy ideas that the Facebook reps have, and they can actually say, because they don't care, because nobody is going to fire them, even if they say something wrong. But I'm always negative with them, and the owners are not, sadly, because still they believe that if Facebook is proposing something, you have to listen to them. They don't understand that they're trying to sell you something, like salespeople. So they send a PDF, and I want to focus on some things, because their whole idea, just to give you an idea about it, is that when you are having a company that is scaling, after some point, you cannot scale by just asking purchases, but you need to do I want to do an expression, but I'm not going to do it. You need to do, no, I'm going to do it. You need to do brand awareness campaigns. Then you need to do other campaigns about engagement. And eventually you're going to build up a brand awareness that is going to help you to scale even more while you're doing your purchase conversion campaigns. We talk about bullshit over here, okay? So, and who is going to pay for all of that? On all of that period, okay? Are you going to have lower ROAS in the hope, by running brand awareness campaigns or reach campaigns, in the hope that this is going to work in 6 months? These things are just not only in theory bullshit, but nobody is going to do them as a normal business owner. So they said some slides which are very, a little bit shows the way that Facebook is working. So we have the first slide here. So I explained the whole concept, okay? So instead of just having, I will explain it more in the second slide. So it says why branding is important. Yeah, right. We don't know that branding is important. We expect from you. The fact, though, that you can do branding also with conversion ads, it doesn't mean that you can do branding only with brand awareness. Come on, you're doing branding also with conversion ads. It's fine. Marketing works in two very different ways over the short and the long-term period. And this is how they do the pitch to start selling you something. So short-term sales activation, performance advertising. It's tight targeting, rational and responsive. And then you have brand advertising, which is brand building, long-term sales growth, and so on. So you go to broad reach, emotional, memorable. So in the first one, it is what I do. I come in an account. If I don't get sales, they're going to fire me. So I go immediately, conversion campaigns, so on, so on. What they're proposing, because they're dreamers, they say that you should go with the first one in small budgets, but later on, if you cannot scale, the problem is that you don't have enough brand awareness. And that you need to go to broad reach, emotional, memorable, do something so that people can remember you. And then we go to the next slide. This PDF, by the way, it was huge. I just took the ones that I really like to show you. And as you can see, it has the short term that you can have sales while you are having, by the way, the blue one it's the direct sales, let's say the conversion sales, okay? So it has the waves of the different sales, and you are doing fine with that. But after some point, they say that because you're brand building, basically the brand sales are going to overcome the sales that you are asking as a direct. So I believe that the long-term branding that you're having from your conversion ads is going to do exactly the same. And I believe that they're just using this theory over here, which makes sense. It's a very simple thing to listen and understand. They're doing that in order to convince you that you have to do brand awareness campaigns. Now, in the next one, we see something. And the really funny thing with Facebook is that a lot of times I'm thinking of things that they make sense and I try to interpret the algorithm. This is why I'm always telling you that these are my personal experiences with ad accounts and this is how I interpret it. And sometimes I don't read anything and I just say that this has to be it. So here, what do we have? We have audience segmentation by action intent. It says consideration, association, action, awareness. What do they show us here, guys? They show us the hot pockets. So the concept of hot pockets is something that I was just trying to explain how it's working with the crazy method and everything. And I came with the idea of hot pockets and this is how it should work. And the more I was digging it, the more I was trying to understand the algorithm with the behavior of different accounts. Maybe this is my talent, that I'm able to try to understand the different meanings of the algorithm and try to explain them with simple words. The hot pockets is something that I thought of crazy method, and this is maybe why it's working, because it's targeting different hot pockets and so on. I explain it further in the crazy method video. But here they are also admitting it, that there are hot pockets. They are categorizing people based on the different things that they're doing here. And this is what crazy method, I guess, is utilizing. Then we go over here. It says how campaigns on Facebook and Instagram close different stages of client action intent. And of course, they say that you go from reach awareness to video views, view content, add to cart, and purchases. In my opinion, this is completely wrong. You should go completely with purchases. And if you have a lot of purchases and if you have a lot of comments into your ads and everything, you are going to start having also the brand awareness. Don't forget that the brand awareness is not something that you should do only on Facebook. Brand awareness is something that you do with SMS, email marketing, all of the other efforts that you're going to do here and there. It's your Facebook is a very good initiation platform and a very visual platform. It can do branding, of course it can, okay? But in my opinion, it's so expensive that you should not use it as a branding way. You should use it as an initiation for new clients and then do branding with other ways. Then they have, I don't want to mention that. So they have the Facebook auction works differently for performance and brand ads, of course, because the whole point is that they were saying in the call that, look, you are doing conversion ads. So, and this is also another thing that I realized that I was right, even if nobody told me. The example that they give for the people that they might buy in the first 15 days, for example, okay, because Facebook is watching their behavior. I was right. They told me that in the call, and they told me that based on the different behaviors, Facebook can understand who is able to buy in the next 1 or 2 days, so they're showing their ads. But they told me that this doesn't mean, and this is what they're going to do when they use conversion ads, okay? So, well done. The speculation that I had, it was correct. When you are not having good quality traffic, they're going to give you people that are not in this category. So, yes, but we knew that already because they are saying it on, and we can actually understand it because they're doing it on the page score of the pages. The thing that they're saying is that, okay, with conversion ads, you're going to target the people who are very close to convert, but this doesn't mean that they are the only people that they are going to convert. So do also brand awareness ads, because with that way, you're going to target people that maybe they're also there and they are going to convert. Okay, you had less chances, but this doesn't mean that there are not people there that they're not going to convert. This is the only thing that makes sense to me, and the only thing that we're discussing this here today in this podcast with this PDF, because the same way, this is the same way that the a high society lookalike method is working. Basically, you create a lookalike of worldwide, and because you want to target a bigger 1% lookalike, you're doing a United States targeting. So you're able to target in 1% United States instead of targeting 2 million 1% lookalike, it's 20 million, 30 million, depending how big your pixel is. Because the whole conception that I had about lookalikes it was that the 1% lookalike, based on how much data the pixel has, it can be much higher. So because Facebook is limiting you when you're creating 1% lookalikes immediately with a country and it's going to put 1% and 2.3 million, what if Facebook is creating a bigger 1% lookalike and it's taking all the people out of it to just put it in the 1% lookalike, because by default it has to be 2.3 million. So what if the whole people of 1% lookalike it's 30 million, but it's taking only the 2.3 million because this is how it's programmed to create the 1% lookalike with specific number. So for me, by the way, it would be much better if the 1% lookalike, it would be different for each account based on how many people it can populate inside. It would make more sense. Why all the 1% lookalikes are, because it's 1%, you're going to say, but maybe we could do 1% similarity and have bigger audiences. Okay, so in my opinion, it's wrong, and you should not have the same size of 1% lookalikes to all of the pixels, because some pixels are better, some pixels are not. This is the same concept and this is how I do the high society lookalikes, which is creating a worldwide lookalike and then targeting the 1% worldwide lookalike and then targeting the country within the ad set, which was giving me the actual 1% lookalike that I could have for this pixel. So the same thing is happening here. They say that when you're doing conversion ads, you're targeting just, let's say, 80% of the people that you can target, but there's also let's say you're targeting 30% of the people within the platform that maybe they're going to buy because Facebook understands that they're close to buy it, because you're asking for a purchase, they are there. But if you do brand awareness, maybe it's going to be another 15% inside the other remaining 70% of the people that they're also going to buy, but the algorithm doesn't understand that they're going to buy, so it doesn't include them in the first section. So this is the only intriguing thing that I found out of this PDF, and this is why I'm discussing it. But to be honest with you, I think that if you go through the process of doing brand awareness campaigns in order to target this 15%, at the end of the day, you're going to spend so much money, and the risk that you're taking to find them, it doesn't worth it, in my opinion. But still, it's a very good concept if you think of it for people that they love Facebook ads like me. Maybe you're listening to me and you're saying, what the f*** is he saying? But anyway, for me, it's intriguing. Then we go over here, it says audience segmentation by action intent. And this is what they explain: the awareness, association, consideration, and action. So these are different tiers of people that they are considering of buying or not. And by time to time, maybe for the first 10 days, people are moving from consideration to association or from association to action based on how they behave. And this is why they are telling that you should target them in a different way. We have also here potential difference on each stage of the client intent, which makes sense that more people are going to buy on the action over there. They have higher intent on the action. And then it says run performance diagnostics and everything and define your lower funnel strategy. I'm just putting all of this so that you can check them. I don't think that I should explain them. Now, over here, they have another concept that I really liked. It's you can see that they have over here the limits of DR only strategy. For DR, they mean running only conversion ads. And here I have in my notes that if you don't do it, because they say that, look, on the right side, you are reaching only some people, the way that I explained it. So you're missing all the other people and they might be buyers inside that. Okay, makes sense. But I just believe that the amount of money that you need to spend in order to get those, it doesn't make any sense. And for example, it's like this. Let's say that you want to open a McDonald's store in a very popular place that you know that a lot of people are going to go. Yes, but there are also some people that they're going to buy from McDonald's if you put it in another area which is less popular, but maybe it's not enough to be profitable because it's not going to be enough traffic on the store. Maybe here, the ratio between spending on brand awareness, also you cannot measure it, okay? Let's say that they tell you to do this for 8-9 months in order to find if it's working or not. It's too risky. But even if you could measure it in 1 month, I believe that the ratio between the amount of money that you need to spend in brand awareness and the return that's going to come from that, it doesn't worth it. Here, I want to focus in this graph over here that explains how the campaigns are working. And as you can see, it has one point that it goes high and then it stabilizes and stays for a period like this. This is very obvious. They don't say that if you yeah, I think it's a little bit wrong the way that they say if you increase the spend more, because the more it has the same return. It doesn't make any sense. I think that what they're trying to say is that after you find a specific spend, then it's going to give you the same return for a longer period of time. So I don't agree with this graph, because we know that the moment you increase your spend, then it should go like this in terms of return. So they just give a nicer picture of how it looks, but it doesn't look like this. Key takeaways. The combination of short-term and long-term brand is a definition of a full funnel approach. An approach which takes advantage of both PR and brand marketing to drive immediate and future sales. Yes, but I believe that you're going to lose money on the process if you do it like this. Also, in this channel, we really like the algorithm. Algorithm is our best friend, and we believe that it can do better than that. It says on certain states, number 2, the efficiency of meta algorithm to reach people with high likelihood to convert result in trade of limited reach on each stage of the mid and lower funnel. Relevant objectives used on each stage of the funnel and their proper combination are required for effective full funnel strategy. It's okay. Let's reach the high intent people. Let's leave the others. And let's try to increase our threshold by the pie that Facebook is going to give us, but not like this with the low. Let's take the low hanging fruits. Let's not take the fruits that are high on the top of the tree. On a certain stage, DR only strategy meets a significant limitation for scalability. It does. With my ways, you can scale a little bit more with credibility. From the comments and everything, if you use post IDs, you can scale more, but there's going to be always a place that Facebook is going to stop you. But for me, this is going to make you lose money because of the brand awareness and the money that you need to spend to it. You can do brand awareness with other ways. Facebook is an expensive way of doing it. And also, think of it. So you have the Facebook platform, and Facebook says, how can I make them spend more money? How? I need to convince them that they have to use also my seed campaigns. What are my seed campaigns? Traffic, engagement, to use automatic placements. How can I make them spend more money to it? Okay, so Facebook would be very happy if it was a standard to do normal ads and 10% of your budget would go to brand awareness. Imagine everybody using 10% of their budget to brand awareness, which costs them nothing because you don't close it. You just say, okay, it's getting brand awareness. It's not something that you close based on the return on ad spend and the way that you evaluate your other ads. So I believe it's just another sales call. Case studies from different markets prove the full funnel approach works on tier clients. And yes, they have some case studies, which, as we said earlier, it's all about the 500 Fortune companies that even if you put, I cannot think of any stupid example. Basically, whatever you're going to do, it's going to work in these kind of accounts because there are companies that they're not taking their branding from Facebook, but they take it all from everywhere else. So how can you say, for example, that Coca-Cola is doing this and it's working perfectly? No, it's not just doing this. And don't take case studies that they're coming from this kind of companies that whatever they're going to do, it's going to work, and try to convince other companies that they don't have the same recognizability to do the same. don't think that it's fair, and I think that whoever is showing case studies of working in a company which is like Coca-Cola or the very big companies and doing that, um, he doesn't know how to run Facebook ads. Basically, even a guy that had brain surgery and came out, if you take them to another account that is running for a 500 Fortune company and they do ads after the brain surgery, most probably they are going to do it perfectly. And the last thing, don't watch the case studies that Facebook is giving from these 500 Fortune companies, because it doesn't worth it, and it's not their marketing is not on the same level as you are. These companies, whatever they do, they consider it as a whole ecosystem of marketing, and they are not just doing it on Facebook. And if you're doing Facebook and Google, you cannot compare with that, okay? Because they're doing also television and everything else that you can imagine, from influencer marketing to whatever. They have a very big omnipresent, and we cannot compare them as companies. That's all I had to say. I think that it was a very interesting topic, at least for me. Now, let's go to your questions, and I have several of those. I will try to go as fast as I can. I'm going to start with an idiot over here who is saying, it's just a blur all over thrash video. So, I didn't control myself, and I answered, and I told him, go make a YouTube channel, find 20 to 30 clients that trust you to spend their money, and after that, if you have the balls, go and show all the information to the world. How stupid can you be? Don't watch any of my other videos. If somebody has the mentality that somebody like me can go and show all the information of my clients and share everything, I'm already having 2 employees so that I can blur everything and I protect them. Because if I cannot do that, I won't be able to make YouTube videos showing you actual ad accounts. The reason that you're not seeing a lot of people putting videos with actual ad accounts is, first of all, because they're afraid of doing it because they have seen results, or secondly, is because they're afraid of their clients and they don't want to go through the process of blurring everything and stuff because it's going to be extremely costly. Creating videos that they have blurring and stuff, they have extra hours of editing, it's taking time, it needs money, so somebody needs to be able to support it. So don't blame me for blurring and protecting my customers' information and everything. And if you don't like it, don't watch my videos, okay? But there are other people that they are actually, you f***ing idiot, they're actually understanding it, okay? And they want to watch the videos even if they're blurry, because they can understand with actual live ad accounts. How the f*** am I going to make videos? Just in theory. How am I going to differentiate my channel if I'm doing just theory, just throwing information here and there without proving and without proof of concept? Anyway, I wish I could block you, by the way, but I don't know if I can. Then we go, and the most irritating thing, he's not replying back. I'm saying things to you, I'm ready to fight with you, okay, and you're not replying back. Why did you put the first comment then, if you don't want to make it personal? Anyway, there we have a message from Kostin. It says, hello Konstantinos, first of all, very good content. In my opinion, you are the only one offering good info with real case studies when it comes to Facebook. The thing here is that I'm not the only one. There are other people also that they're trying to do the same thing. But yes, I created my YouTube channel just out of the need that I had to find more information that I couldn't find because everybody was talking about theory without case studies. And by the way, and then you were buying their courses and stuff, and they were set. So I created also a course that had actual ad accounts inside and not just theory or beginner stuff. It says, regarding Advantage Plus campaign, by the way, today I thought that I'm going to do a whole video about Advantage Plus because I have one video about optimization, one video about this, one video about that. I'm thinking of doing one major one because now we are using it a lot in the Facebook ads. And I need to do something to show you everything in just one video. Regarding Advantage Plus campaign, what I do not understand yet is this. when you see an Advantage Plus campaign doing well, besides the optimization that you showed, like closing bad ads, do you raise the budget or not? The Advantage Plus, because it's one ad set, it's working like an ABO campaign. So it means that if it's working very well, you can actually scale it. Of course, and let me finish because I think that you know. So after, for example, 3 days, if the campaign has good ROAS, one good leading ad, so he understands the concept of leading ad. I'm very happy for that. It means that you are watching my videos. The Advantage Plus campaigns, as we said, they are optimizing with one leading ad, which is spending all the amount of money. And basically, this is what you need to check always. If it's doing bad, you close it. If it's not, you leave it. And then you have another 2 or 3 spending. And this is how you optimize an Advantage Plus. Of course, I'm trying to put it in a very simple context. It's much more complicated. And after that, he's asking if you can raise the budget or not, and says, I know that we could just duplicate the campaign without the performing ad, or we can take the performing ad and do an Advantage Plus Crazy Method edition. But right now, I'm just interested in better understanding if the budget can be raised or not on a good Advantage Plus campaign. So he also knows, because he's watching my videos, that the first thing that I would propose is that, hey, you're having 20, 25 ads inside. Remove the 4 that they're working, duplicate the campaign, and run it with the rest 21. The other thing that he's saying here is that he's saying that but to duplicate the campaign, perform cut, and get perform language. The crazy method. So the other thing that you can do is you take the one leading ad and you run it with the crazy method. So you duplicate the ad several times to target different hot pockets. I believe that the hot pockets targeting is happening on the ad set level, but still, I have seen the crazy method. I love crazy method, as you can understand. It's my little baby. I have created it. I have thought of it. Maybe other people are using it, but the way that I use it and the CBO optimization, I think that I have mastered it very well. Yes, the crazy method can also work by duplicating the leading ad several times. What is interesting on learning, and I understand it, is if you can scale. I have done it several times, Costin, to be honest with you. I have scaled like an ABO, increasing the budget, seeing how it performs. If I see that the ROAS is dropping, I'm lowering the budget, the same way that you optimize an ABO campaign. It's not like the CBO. The Advantage Plus is not like the CBO, and you can increase the budget if you want. But to be honest with you, I prefer it. I prefer to use it. I think that in the next Wednesday, I'm uploading a video with a case study with an Advantage Plus and how I scaled another account, because I was starting with an Advantage Plus of 28 assets and 1,000. Then I did another one with 25 assets without the 3 that they were working in the other campaign, and another 1,000. And this helped me a lot to scale. So I think that you can scale better like this, but your point is valid here if you don't have a lot of creatives. So if you don't have a lot of creatives, Konstantinos, I cannot scale like this. What am I going to do? Yes, you can increase the budget on Advantage Plus campaigns. I have seen it working, because it's working like an ABO. Okay, it's only one ad set. Now, next question. And by the way, very good question. Okay, and I'm not saying that because you say that I have very good content and stuff. It's a very good question because I understand that you're watching all of my videos. I'm very happy for that. When people come with questions and they say, not this, not the other thing that you mentioned in the other video, I'm so happy because you're consuming the content, because I'm doing 3 videos now every week, and I feel like it's very difficult for people to keep up with the content. Now, if you have, another guy says here, if you have 200 for a campaign budget and you want 20 cost per purchase, your methodology says to have 200 divided by 20 multiplied by 2, which is 20 assets. Isn't that a little bit excessive in one campaign? You're actually right. So for people like me that we're creating content, sometimes we have to be a little bit we have to find ways to explain things in a way that people are going to understand them. And that being said, I want to say here that this is just a simple equation for people to start with the crazy method or CBO optimization. It doesn't mean that you should use it everywhere. Also, I need to be a little bit careful with what am I proposing, because some people are spending money, and sometimes they're spending money which are the only money that they have. So for me, it's better to start with a lot of ad sets and start closing so that they can be left with less, instead of actually starting with less ad sets. Now, a person like me could go immediately and have $200 and 10 assets. I will be able to optimize it. Or a person like me can go with 5 assets. I need to put more assets to the people that they don't understand it immediately, so that they can start the process slowly. After some point that you know how to optimize CBO campaigns, you will be able to understand immediately how to go. And maybe you're not going to multiply by 2, but you're going to do a different thing. Also, I need to tell you that with equations like this, which are simple, I cannot actually explain all the situations. For example, if you have an average cost per purchase of 80 and a budget of 300, it doesn't mean that you have to put only 600 divided 300 divided with 80 multiplied by 2. It doesn't mean that you have to go with 7.5, let's say 8 assets. Okay, maybe you have to go with less because you have very big cost per purchase, and there are other cases that you may have to go with more assets instead of multiplying with 2. Let's say that you have an average cost per purchase of 10, okay, and you have a budget. Let's say that you have 200 divided by 10 and multiplied by 2, then it has 4 assets, okay? I don't think that you should have 4 assets, for example. I think that you should have less. But in most cases, in the comfort zone, like $25 and $100, because the equation is not mostly made for people spending 200, 300, 400 in a CBO. It's mostly for the smaller numbers like 50 and 100. This is what I was trying to explain to people, that they don't have a lot of money to spend in a daily level. If you're spending $200 in a CBO campaigns, most probably you are in a level that you're understanding how much to put. For me, just to close this question and explain, is that I feel like you should start with something that makes sense, then run it for 1-2 days, see if they're spending too fast or too slow, as I'm explaining in my optimization, and then decide slowly what you're going to do. Maybe as a starting point to start with 220, it's a very good starting point, and you will see if it's going too fast or too slow, and maybe the next campaign that you will do is going to have 15, okay? Because you don't know what is going to happen. So it's a very good initiation, but after some point, you need to understand on your own how many assets you should have based on your experience. Now, Gigi is asking, hi, I'm running different ads for already 1.5 months, but I get no sales. I test my ads for at least 1 week, but even ads with good metrics don't make sales. Are these things I might be missing, or it's because of the web shop or ads? It can be 1 million reasons, seriously. There's no way that somebody can come and tell you that it's this or that just by a message. If you're having, first of all, how are you testing? Are you testing immediately with dynamic creative ads, and then you're trying to see what kind of results you're going to have? Are you testing with engagement campaigns and then you move them to conversion because they can tell you that this is outdated, that it's not going to work? So it's all about that. To be honest with you, when something is not working, I'm not blaming the Facebook ads most of the time, because all of my methods are working on accounts. If they're not working in some accounts, most probably there's something wrong, because I have proof of concept there, but I don't have proof of concept for the new item that we are selling or the new website or everything. So I would start thinking of creatives, website, prices and everything. Try to see if something is going to work better, and break the code before starting blaming the ads and what they're doing. And I wouldn't be so much focused on the good metrics that you say. We don't care about clicks and stuff. It's a very good indication, but you should always look on purchases, and until you get purchases, you should not rest. Then we have somebody who actually commented on a video that I had about Hyros, and he says, I feel that these programs are very good for high ticket sales business owners, not so good for low ticket. Because a lot of people selling high tickets optimize for leads and not purchases. And a lot of time purchases happen weeks later and there is no chance that Facebook or other platforms will catch that purchase. So it's not really meant for optimization of the ads, but more so knowing with lead ad sets to which leads ad sets to scale up and continue to optimize for more lead conversions. I couldn't agree more. And the reason that I'm putting this question here is because he managed in 3 lines to summarize my whole video about Hyros, and well done. Now, let's go to more questions that I have here. So we have here, it says, "You're my Superman. Thank you for sharing this with us. Well, I got a new ad account, new pixel, new business. I'm trying with broad targeting, but I hardly get a purchase since the ad account is new. I can't do lookalikes. So what if I do Advantage Plus campaign? Will it work?" First of all, you go under the category of what I said earlier about if it's not working, you have to look on other things also. But yes, Advantage Plus is one way that it's helping a lot on new ad accounts because they have very low CPMs. What your pixel cannot do as a new pixel, the Advantage Plus is helping a lot because you're having lower CPMs. I have seen a lot of new ad accounts working very well with Advantage Plus. So for sure, try it if you haven't. We go to this. So this is a back and forth questions with this guy. There are several, and I'm going to explain it now. So, Konstantinos, thank you for your reply. I noticed, maybe I should start from the beginning here, I guess. Okay. So, it says, "Thank a lot of value here. So I created one campaign, one catalog, 2 carousels, 1 video, 1 collection. Some of them got sales, CPM is good. I'm happy with performance. However, the campaign is still in day 2 and I don't know the best method to add new creatives, as I know it will affect the campaign and will send it back to the learning phase. Should I create a new shopping campaign with new creatives?" He's talking about Advantage Plus, by the way. And yes, this is what you should do. You should not go and you should add new ads inside your Advantage Plus campaigns. There's no need for you to risk this one that is doing well. Also, earlier I mentioned a lot of things about Advantage Plus, and I think that these are things that you also need to consider. I don't want to repeat myself, but yes, this is what I would do. I would do a new one, and I wouldn't try to ruin this one. Then he replies, "Thanks a lot for the reply and advice. I had one Advantage Plus shopping that was performing well on catalog ads. By the way, when I see Advantage Plus with catalog ads, most of the time they're spending all the money. It doesn't mean that they're also the good ad inside. You can put them along with normal ads, but just keep an eye on them because maybe they are going to spend a lot without having good results. If they have good results, it's fine. It would bring an add to carts and purchases, but dies out really quick. First of all, I worked with a guy recently that he was using 1 day attribution setting and instead of 7 days. So this is something that you should check. Also, I have seen, I think in one account that it was by default set on 1 day. So if it is set on 1 day attribution on the right bottom, just use 7 days because this is going to help you have Advantage Plus that they're going to stay for a longer period because it uses more data. It uses the data of 7 days instead of data of 1 day. So I found myself duplicated ads every 2 days, which is not very practical. I agree, but if you have a new pixel in a new account, whatever it works, you know. Then it entered learning limited. You should not care about learning. Forget about learning. Just do your stuff. Care about ROAS. Forget about learning. I spent a lot of money on it and it spent over a month learning. I also generated purchases from it. This is wrong. It didn't spend a month learning. Basically, the learning phase is all about your attribution that you have. If you have 1 day or 7 days, this is the data that is going to use in order to pass the learning phase. So it's not learning for a month, it's learning for 4 different weeks. And in each one of the weeks, it's trying to pass the learning phase, but maybe it's not passing it because it doesn't have enough events. So don't think as your learning phase as a whole thing, as the whole period lifetime of the campaign. It's always a 7 days period or 1 day period based on what attribution you are using. I also generated purchase from it. Should I turn it off and never use it? Add new creatives and ignore learning limit. Yes, you should ignore learning limited. Yes, you have to duplicate it when check about the one-day attribution, please, because this was the issue with the other account, and try to duplicate it at the start. If your pixel is new, maybe you have to do this kind of stupid stuff all the time, because as we said earlier, you have to give the message that I'm not happy with my results, Facebook, this is what I want for the ROAS, give me that, or I'm going to stop spending. So that's about it. Then we have another question from him. He says, thank you for your reply. I have noticed the time my clients purchase is mostly evening time between 4 and midnight. We get a few auto cars during the day, but it's not purchases. The challenge is that that the campaign spends up to 60% of the budget during the day and on weekends when most people are out and they aren't in a shopping mindset. I try to schedule the campaign, but it seriously affects performance. Of course, you cannot run ads with schedule. It sucks. CTR went down and started getting relevant traffic afterwards. We tried to pause and launch in the evening, but this is also affecting the performance of ads. Somehow ads died out. Do you have a solution for this problem? Guys, this is not a problem. This is how Facebook works, okay? And do you know what it reminds me? This is what I wrote in the comment. It's like you live in North Korea and you have Kim Jong-un as a supreme leader, and you want to change that. It is what it is. Facebook is the big brother, and there are some things that we need to just swell, okay? Just swell it and live with it. First of all, you should not run your ads in the evening. You should not start them in the evening, even if this is the best time of the day, because the first 24 hours are the best hour of the day always, and you should let your ads run in this first day as much as you can. So not at 12 o'clock, but at 6 o'clock, you should start them then. But in my opinion, 6 o'clock is the best. I have tested it. You have the first 24 hours. It's going to give you some boost with initial results and everything. And after that, you can continue having more sales because it's getting the data to optimize. The other thing here that I want to mention is that you cannot stop your ads on weekend because it's going to reset your ads, first of all. Secondly, you are optimizing based on the last 7 days, so you cannot close your ads on weekend and then open them again and everything be okay. It really reminds me of the other stupid example that I have, that, you know, I'm married, I'm going to go with 5 chicks to the Caribbean islands for 5 days to have vacation and then come back and everything is going to be fine with my wife. It's not going to be fine with my wife, and I cannot take a break like this. You cannot take a break from your ads. Are we idiots as marketers that we soak the damage on the weekends? We know that on the weekends we don't have such a good traffic in some businesses. Some businesses they do. And on this period, we just try to do the best that we can in order to soak the damage, but we care about the average of the 7 days. This is what it really matters. So it is what it is. You cannot do anything about it. The weekends are going to be bad. You're going to have some bad days and you can do nothing about it. You just need to watch on the average of the last 7 days. You the prime hour is going to be later and you need to run your ads all the day because you cannot just open them and close them. It's not a faucet that you are having water, that you're taking water from. So all of the things that you're proposing here, they don't have solutions. It's not the problem. It's how the platform is working and you have to accept it and move on. Okay, cool. Now, let's go. We don't have a lot of it left. Cool. So let's continue. We have another one. He says, really appreciate you getting back to me. Most probably answered something. Yeah, I think that Facebook now learns on the creative level who the target audience is. That's why I wanted to use existing image ads. No, this is never going to happen. All the target audience is happening on the ad set level. It's not on the ad level, and this is never going to change. Never. Because all of our targeting is happening on the ad set level. So the ad set level, it's learning who to target and how to target, and then the optimization is happening on the ad set level. This is why I put this comment here. When I select the option to keep engagement, then it also works and uses the old post. But as soon as so he has a problem to actually finding the ID. The solution that I have for this is because I also lost some IDs during this time. If you are watching my videos or other videos on the YouTube and you cannot actually find it to use it, then this time just do a normal post into your Facebook page, use it like this, and never lose it again instead of using the post ID from an ad that you created within the Ads Manager. If you have one creative which is working, post it as a normal post, start using it so that you will never lose it, because it's a big pity, and I also understand you. I have lost posts that they had crazy engagement on them, but you can start building it all over again. And don't forget, the optimization is happening on the ad set level, not on the ad level. Now, this is a question on my group, and it's the last one before we go. It's actually a huge one, and I made a Loom video to explain it, but here it is. So it says, "Hi Konstantinos and friends, I'm stuck, I need help with our new Facebook account campaigns. It's an e-com Shopify, 1K per day sales from Google Shopping, new to Facebook ads, started with top of funnel catalog campaign." I don't believe that you should start with top of funnel catalog campaign. I believe that you should locate the best sellers and focus on those, because Facebook is a platform, especially with a new pixel, it's going to help you to use the viral products instead of using that. But you should do retargeting campaigns with the catalog ad, because the catalog ads are going to help you a lot to get some retargeting sales. Even if it's going to steal it from Google, it's fine, because it's going to fuel up your pixel with events. The more events, the more it will start to understand who is going to target. So in a case like that, when you're spending 1K per day in Google, I would go with 50-50. 50% on retargeting for now, and 50% on cold traffic, so that I can start finding what is going to work. And of course, focusing on the best sellers, not focusing on a catalog. You can do catalog if you want for retargeting. And again, even if it steals some sales, it's fine. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. It's going to fuel your pixel so that it can help you later go there. So 21 days ago, new top of funnel catalog conversion tested 4 audiences, blah, blah. 116 million audience had 2, the CTR, the same situation again. He or she, don't remember, talking about CTR and everything. We don't care about these metrics. We care about return on ad spend. This is what is going to give us more money to spend on the Facebook ads. So for me, this is useless. I don't care about these metrics. I care about them on the first 1-2 days in order to understand if it worth the try for me to optimize a campaign. But after that, I'm not even looking at them, because they're also going to be higher, okay? And it makes sense. The more Facebook is trying to find people that they're going to convert as purchases, these metrics are secondary. They don't matter, because Facebook is converting more and more to quality instead of quantity. So don't look at them after a point. Then 7 days ago, turned all the audiences, used that. With a dedicated audience, our bestseller, our top 3 sellers, or catalog 25 items. I think you should focus on bestsellers and do a lot of creatives for the bestsellers. The whole catalog ad set has gotten 0 MP since this change. Okay, the overall stats for the campaign last 7 days are good. Again, he's focusing on CTR's cost per click, which I don't care about. So I'm not sure what to do. Should I scrap this audience or campaign and start over? Yes. You should start testing a lot of different creatives for the best sellers only. You should test different strategies, and you should test different interests, and all of them comparing together with the 50% of the budget. The other 50% has to go on retargeting, so that you can start stealing some sales from Google or from some organic traffic that the store has. If we had a situation that you had 0 organic traffic already from, or paid traffic from other sources in this site, I would tell you not to go with 50-50, but go only 100% cold traffic ad. Try to solve that first, and then you will bother about retargeting. Thanks for any advice. Facebook ads are hard. Yes, they are hard. For some of you. For me, they are not. Now, I'm not even going to ask how much time I have, because I'm afraid that it's a huge episode. I'm going to learn after we close the camera. We have 2 things here. Oh, there's another question. Okay, so I'm not getting Advantage Plus campaign option in my ad account. Instead, I'm getting tailored campaign. Okay, so just so you know, Advantage Plus is something that is going to be available in all of the ad accounts eventually. But if you don't have it yet, you have to be patient. I have talked with a lot of times because I want to use it in all the other accounts with Facebook reps and people on the customer support. This is not something that we can control. Facebook is going to put it eventually to all the ad accounts. Most of the new ad accounts, they have it. So if you don't have it, you're unlucky, my friend. You will just have to wait for Facebook to give it. Now, we go here, it says Facebook Ads Optimization for Music. Looking for a Facebook Ads Manager to optimize my campaigns. I'm a musician and my current cost per conversion is over $2 to $8. I need someone to lower the cost per click to below 0.5 on average. The conversion is based on how many targeted users clicked on my landing page. Look, the reason that I'm putting this here is because I want you to understand that if something is between 2 and 8, asking to get it on 0.5, I think... So basically he's asking to get cost per click on 0.5 while the cost per conversion is on 2 to 8. And the conversion is based on how many targeted users click on the landing page. So the conversion event is the landing page, who clicked on the landing page. He wants the clicks on the ads to be 0.5. He doesn't even give how much. And the reason that I'm putting this is just to give whoever is a freelancer here is watching this, don't work with musicians. All of them are broke. They don't have money and they're not going to pay you. Okay? So do a favor to yourself. And you can understand from the way that he's writing that all the things that he's asking, most probably they are not going to happen. He just has some numbers to his head and he doesn't justify why he wants them. Okay, maybe he's lucky and they're going to happen, but I think that the way that I see it from my experience talking with thousands of people about, I think it's another person that just throws some numbers without even justifying them or knowing why he's asking them. Last thing, YouTube development. I want someone to help me grow my YouTube with more subscribers and views. I will pay the person who helped me get 300k subscribers in 2 hours. If you find this person, I want to meet him and I'm not going to pay him $100 like what you suggest. I'm going to pay him a lot of money. Okay, so here we have another delusional person that thinks that he can get 300k subscribers. You cannot get 300k subscribers in 2 hours, not even in Matrix. Not even if you put Neo inside to do the job for you, you wouldn't be able to get it. So that's all I had for you. I think that I answered all of the questions. We had some interesting things with the PDF and everything. I'm afraid to ask how much time did we record. And I will see you guys in the next podcast. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.